won the match in 3.
Right. Well, what were you thinking in between sets when you're sitting in the chair, between changeovers? What was going through your mind, especially after the first set?
I think she came out today and really swung, and didn't give me much time to do anything out there. She served really well in the first set, and wasn't returning that well, and giving her a lot of looks on second serves, and against a player like that who kind of plays the 1-2 punch type of tennis. It's quite difficult to get a rhythm in the beginning, and I just hung in there, and between the first and second set, I knew that it wasn't over, and in tennis you have either 2 or 3 sets to play, so I still certainly had my chances.
She was really attacking the ball, for lack of a better, through the entire match.
Yeah.
Could be very troublesome serving. What goes through your mind when you toss the ball up to serve? It's just trying to think of some sort of image that I could describe that goes through your mind as you're staring down, maybe break opportunity for her. She's swinging at the ball. It's a second serve. You get some great second serves in that match.
You're making this a little way too dramatic for what it was. It's like a Shakespeare poem. No, you focus on what you need to do. You think of the patterns. You think of where you're going to serve, and things like that. I mean, it's not really complicated. You just have to do it.
Do you feel like you're playing well enough right now to win the Open, or do you feel like you need to play your way into that kind of form still?
I mean, based on my results in the past, I've been in different situations. I've come into Grand Slam playing really well in the beginning, and playing well throughout, or starting quite slow and then finding my game throughout. So it depends on. It really depends on the tournament, the situation, your opponent, and really getting through matches. And days like this where your opponent was playing really well, you really have to find ways to hang in there, and ways to fight. And at the end of the day, just hope that you give yourself another opportunity.
Which way do you prefer? Do you like to start out slow and finish fast, or be fast the whole time?
Well, I don't think there's a perfect scenario. I don't think anyone has a perfect Grand Slam. Everyone has their ups and downs, and everyone's going to be put in situations, in tough situations, where they're going to come through. And even being up is not necessarily the easiest thing. And doing the right things in order to win every match is tough. And that's the tough part about tennis, is you have to be out there for 2 weeks and 7 matches in a Grand Slam environment, and you have to come up with the goods when it really matters.
Is returning here, 4 years ago you won, you had the problems, the surgery, sort of make you feel, hey, I'm back to where I had success, give you a better feeling?
Yeah, well, it's always great to come to a place where you've lifted the trophy, you've had great memories, and even though in the couple last years I haven't had the best results, even the year that I won, all that is past. This is a new year. It's a new match when you go out there, and it's a new opponent, and you're just trying to get the win.
Are you glad Serena's not here, or would you like her to be here to have the best here?
I mean, obviously, it's always a shame when the number 1 player in the world is not in the draw, but the tournament still goes on. You still have to beat a lot of tough players in order to win the tournament.
Somebody said you saw her foot the other night. Did she show you her injury?
I saw her during the Nike event that we did. Yeah, she was in the boot.
What's it like? How bad does the laceration look? Did you actually see it? Did you actually see the laceration, Maria?
No.
Maria, what are your thoughts of the effectiveness of the Hawkeye system, and if there were anything you'd like to change about it, what would you like to change?
I think it's been great for the game, great for the fans. The human eye is imperfect, and I think it's a really great way to change a few things around in a match. And obviously, I think if a player runs out of challenges and it's towards the end of the match, I think maybe we should have an opportunity to have a few more. Especially if the umpire is not quite sure of the call. But as it is right now, it's only 3, I believe, and we also know if we're going to have more, then everyone's going to challenge quite quite easily, even if they know the ball's in or out. So.
Marie,
Question in the back.
Yeah, how much more confident do you feel in your serve today than you did when we saw you last at the U.S. Open, when things were a little tinkering?
Yeah, last year, and with my whole game, I was just trying to find that, where my feet were on the ground, and just trying to find my position and see how I could handle, playing a lot of matches under different circumstances. And this year, a whole year with the tournaments and experience, and it feels really good to be healthy and coming in and just playing and not worrying about how physically you feel.
In the front?
How would you rate the status of your service game now? Are you confident in it? Do you still have a ways to go?
Yeah, on this particular day, I think my percentage was quite low today, but I think I did a really good job of hitting some great second serve when I needed to, and especially in the third set, I wasn't getting too many first serves in, and but I heard her from my second serve, and I probably could say that was one of the shots that won me the match today. And every day is different. The conditions might be different. Sometimes you're playing in Europe where everything's pretty cold. The balls are heavy, so things are not swinging through the air as much, and you might feel a little bit drawn back from what you're used to. But overall, I feel good.
Maria, the other day, John McEnroe, of course, made some pretty strong and provocative comments about women and the women's tour and the schedule. Could you tell us what your thoughts were on his point that
I'm not sure what he said. So.
He said that basically women were not strong enough to play the full schedule and should have a shorter schedule than the men because they were not strong enough.
I think every individual is different. I've always played a certain amount of tournaments throughout my career, and it's always been around the Grand Slam, and I think your tournaments are a personal choice. I think, before we had to play, I believe maybe it was 14 tournament as a requirement, and now it's only 10. So if you play those 10 and you play the Grand Slams, we don't have to make a commitment to play any more than that, and it's a personal choice of how many we play. And I think I've only played 9 or 10 this year, so it's a personal decision, and I think we're if only everyone could come and join us in our off seasons and when we practice, and how much we work and how many hours we spend on the court and training and getting our bodies ready to be where they are.
So you're saying that there's a kind of core strength with the women athletes on the tour to sustain them through the schedule. Is that the women have a core strength as athletes to carry them through the schedule that they face each year?
Like I said, it's an individual choice about your scheduling, and I think we have a pretty good rule in place of how many events we have to play, and based on that, and after that, it's a personal decision. And everyone's body is different, and some girls like to play many events during the year, 25, something like that. I personally don't, and I'm not physically ready for that, and I never have been throughout my career, and I always try to gear up around the Grand Slams, and those are quite important ones.
Next question, Howard.
How do you feel about the way you played today? How do you come out of that match? Happy, satisfied, worried?
At the end of the day, even though I know I wasn't playing my best tennis, I know I came out with a win, and sometimes it's more important than anything, because you're giving yourself a chance to go out on the practice court tomorrow, and you're giving yourself a chance to play another match and to get better, and maybe work on the things that maybe today weren't working that well for you. And like I said in the beginning, it was tough to figure many things out, because there weren't many rallies in the games. It was 2 or 3 balls to the point where it was over.
Do you think, is there anything you take being a Grand Slam champion that's most important in your head about knowing how to win 7 matches in a major that's maybe an advantage over girls who haven't done that before?
I'm sure experience helps, and but I don't know, it's really, at the end of the day, it's about going out there and doing it, and finding finding the mental strength, the physical strength of, and challenging yourself to go out there and be better every day.
Two last questions in English.
Maria, did you see Roger Federer's trick shot last night? And if so, what are your thoughts about
I
it?
didn't see it.
And
no.
have you seen his video that's on the internet where he serves a can off somebody's head?
No, I don't.
Let's count that as one question.
No, I really haven't.
Last question.
I don't spend much time there.
Will we see you trying between the leg shot anytime soon?
No, you don't want to see me attempt that. Not pretty.
Thanks, guys.